Hi guys, welcome to another All Things Tennis racket review. Today we're joined by the beast that is the Aero 100 Plus. For those that the power of the 100 just isn't enough, you want more power, more spin, this is the racket for you. It's an absolute monster for spin and power. And Sahej, you've been using them a while, right?
Yeah.
You've been using them in 2019, so this is one of the first players in the UK to use a 100 Plus. So, first impressions, obviously, let's talk about the specs. 100 square inches, 300 grams unstrung. Sahej likes using an RPM blast at like 57 pounds, okay, so reasonably tight. I think that's just to control the power that this racket gives you. What do you think the Plus version, let's talk about why did you even move to Pluses?
Yeah.
What was the thought process?
Little story, I was in France playing a tournament, my coach was watching, and basically I just kept getting aced on the out wide serve. I ended up losing the match, and my coach was like, two things: you need to get better at tennis, and I need a plus size racket. So yeah, after that I got ordered three Babolat Plus 100 pluses and never went back. Took a little bit of time to get used to the spacing because you need a bit more space, but definitely the power on the serve I got more, and the return I could get more returns back, so yeah.
That extra half inch.
Yeah.
So when we say plus, they're normally around 27.5 inches. This racket is a 320mm balance, so what that means is it's 9 inches head light. So even though you've got the extra length, they keep it nice and maneuverable in terms of it being 9 inches head light. It doesn't feel too heavy, I think, like they've kept a really nice balance here. And when you're playing with it, it's one of those rackets, for me, the Aero has been so popular because you pick it up and it's addictive to play with, like big power, big spin. The Plus version just takes that to another level in terms of you're hitting, you've got an extra 5-10 miles an hour on your forehand, I think, the extra weight of ball. You feel like Rafa in his prime, high net clearance, lots of spin. Even if you've got an Eastern grip like me, you can actually hit topspin if you use a racket like this. So, we talked about why you use a 100 square inch racket. Can you talk about what is different in this model compared to your current one?
Yeah, I genuinely felt it was a bit more stable on contact, like a little bit more compact. I think it's a bit softer. Yeah, it felt nicer on contact. Felt not as hard when I hit the ball. It just felt cushioned the ball quite well. This model. I think that's a little difference. Obviously, they're going to be pretty similar, but I thought this has, a nice like cushion feel when I hit the ball.
Yeah, so that might be something to do with the flats inserts in the frame. The criticism slightly in terms of Aeros has always been they're quite stiff. So when their tennis rackets have an RA rating, they're normally high 60s, 70s, your Aeros, okay, so they're stiff. But that's what makes them fun to play with and powerful. Babolat, to make sure the racket's a little bit more arm-friendly and easy to use, they've made it a little bit softer, okay? Within the Aeros, the new version as well, you've got slightly narrower main strings, okay? So it's a little bit more denser in the mains, not as in adding more strings, but a bit more strategically placed to give you that extra control. So it makes sense in terms of what Sahej is saying, a little bit of a softer feel. From the baseline, what is it that kind of stands out with these rackets for you?
Just the power you can get, and I feel like the more control than the pure drive, and yeah, just for me, it's the best racket. I've tried using different rackets, and I've tried using a few YoneXes, which have been great, but for me, it's always the Babolat that just makes such a difference with power. Like when I go back to it, it's like I can instantly feel the power. Yeah, and I think I've used Babolats pretty much my whole life, and I don't think I'd change really.
Demo rackets, right? We try and give you an unbiased opinion in terms of giving you our thoughts on it, but the best way to find out what racket suits you, I've always said it's the demo, because tennis is subjective. The way you feel it might be different to Sahej. Certainly different to me, because I don't have the good enough technique like Sahej does to feel the ball in the same way, right? But there's a few rackets that basically come in this kind of cheat code category for me. As in you pick it up and you're like, what is this? I've never sort of had any feeling like this when playing with a racket before. This is in that category for power and spin. The Aero 100 is definitely within that kind of remit of that, but the 100 Plus does, for me, give you the extra 5-10 miles an hour in your game. So, you know what I'm going to ask you? Because it's giving you extra power and spin, how do you control the thing?
Yeah, I think everyone's got their strong suits, and my strong suit is definitely not power, so this is perfect for me, but I think I do have quite natural feel And I think that's something maybe I'm a bit better at, controlling the ball. I can't really give you a magic answer. I think it's just, having good technique and then and learning, maybe not to extend as far, because, the racket does most of the work. So yeah, I think it's just not forcing it and just letting the racket do its job.
Okay, so do you reckon then, in terms of what kind of player it suits in terms of control, you need to have the very good technique to even harness that power?
Yeah, I think your game has to need power, so it has to suit this racket, because I generally lack power, so this is just a perfect addition for me. So yeah, I think it's very individual, and it's, depending on the player, what they need.
So then, talk to me about the serve. Obviously, you've got the extended length. Does it help in terms of that power generation, maybe getting extra more miles per hour on the serve?
Yeah, definitely. I think when I use this one compared to the normal length, I definitely felt, it just makes sense. I'm able to hit the ball a little bit higher as well. And yeah, there's just more weight behind it. Felt really good, felt really solid, nice contact. It was all good with the serve. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of feel I was getting on serve. Flat down the tee, just a monster with this racket. Okay, perfect. So we talked about ground strokes and serves. You talked about maybe the spacing element with an extended length. You're quite used to it, but for players that maybe haven't used a plus racket, that's something to kind of get used to.
Yeah,
that's one of the downsides, maybe.
Possibly, yes. You definitely need a bit more space. It did take me a few weeks to get used to. But yeah, I think for me the pros outweigh that con. I really like it. I think especially it gives so much power with the forehand, with the serve, with the backhand. Really excited to start using it, competing with it. Seeing how it goes.
So that's a good point. I think it's a pros and cons racket. Okay, it's not like a perfect solution for every player, because it is powerful. And you do have that extra length, you've got to get used to that. But the pros, for some players, are going to outweigh those cons, okay? Because you get a massive amount of power, you've got the extra weight of ball, and you're getting lots and lots of spin because it's an Aero, okay? Downsides maybe that getting used to the extra length, and it's a powerful racket. So if you have your own power, it's probably not the racket for you. But if you want to add that power to your game, it's a must demo, okay? So guys, again, demo with All Things Tennis. You can demo it in store, this model, and online. If you liked watching the video, please hit that like and subscribe button. It allows us to get these rackets with you and support players like Sahej. No other retailers really going out there in the same way we're doing in terms of supporting players, and we need your help to do it further by hitting that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Perfect.